Mercedes. I know that somebody in the guy in the tow truck was looking and asked him if it was a Mercedes. It is a Mercedes.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no one in it, so it's a lot deeper now than it was even 5 minutes ago. Yeah, there's a car in the middle, right in the middle of it, that's completely flooded. It's pretty much half underwater. Well, I got here probably a half hour ago, and it was there when I got here. So there was actually another car that was here as well. It was also flooded, a minivan, but that one looks like they got pulled out. I would guess it's about, well, it's at least up to my knees. So probably a foot, maybe a foot and a half, because it's almost to the bottom of my Jeep. It's coming up towards almost to the bottom. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How the hell did I get out of that?
This is Scott Road in Sacramento County, and Scott Road is actually one of 4 scenic roads designated in the master plan for Sacramento County. So it's very historical. It's very old. It's old gold mining and cattle country. There are very few people that live out on this road, but it's also a main thoroughfare for a community of Rancho Murrieta right south of us. And what you have right here is the Deer Creek crossing. Deer Creek is a watershed that comes out of El Dorado Hills. So what happens is it rains up in the foothills, stores the water, and when there's too much water, it just starts to run down these creeks. Well, this creek, which is dry most of the time, will tend to flood very fast. If it's raining in the morning, it's going to flood in the afternoon. If it's raining at nighttime, it will flood in the morning. Due to the fact that thousands of people drive this road every day, they think, there's a little bit of water, no big deal. But the water will rise very fast. And as you saw earlier, the lady that drove through here, when she got out of the rescue squad, she said that she drove through it twice today. I didn't get a chance to ask her why she drove through it twice, but we asked her, hey, what kind of car are you driving? She says, well, obviously not a car that was designed to run through a river. This crossing is probably 200 yards wide. Average depth is probably 2 to 3 feet, and that's a lot of water pressure. And that water pressure will force you off the road, back into the creek, and it's deadly. It's not safe. They do their best. The county does their best to close the road by signage, and hopefully people heed the signs and don't pass it. I live on the road, so I have to come down. I live right in the middle of everything, so I basically will usually stay in during the rain or go check to make sure nobody's crashed or gotten themselves in deep trouble. But most people should drive around. It's safe to drive around. It's a big way to go around. It takes an extra 20-25 minutes, but they'll get home safe. This road hasn't been improved. It's very windy. It's got a lot of hills, a lot of turns, and 2 people have already died on this road this year. 2 people this year alone. Over the years, I couldn't tell you how many people have died, but there's crosses all over. I've pulled people out of fences, and it's sad to see it. I have had 2 accidents at my house in 1 week. One this morning. But it's a scenic place. It's beautiful to see during the daylight. There's a lot of wildlife out here, but people got to drive a lot safer out here. They got to slow down, and preferably don't come out here during the rain. Simple as that. The accident, so the flooding last Saturday, not the accident, but the flooding last week was just about like this.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Those guys got stuck, the other guy's stuck, and you can't even walk there, so.
They need to tow out. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, those guys, they really need help because you can't walk from there. You cannot walk from there, for sure. If you can take them out of there, it would be nice, because I tried to walk there and I couldn't. So.
Geez, that's really flowing down there, huh?
Yes, and their car started floating kind of in the beginning, so now it got stable. So I'm not sure if you can help them out, but they really need help. The stream is so fast that it just wipes through.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize. Actually, I haven't seen it going like that. Huh. That's cool.
I came down to check. The water hadn't been that high, quite that high. And at about 8:30 at night, there was a car out there, and the occupants had to be rescued by the fire rescue crew, just like this lady. They drove out in the middle of it. They got stuck. Some spots there are fence posts, so if the car gets put up against the fence post, luckily it won't go down the river. But inevitably, logs will come down and push the cars, and they'll end up further down the river, and you probably won't rescue them.
That's going way too fast. At that point, anything over about 6 inches going that fast can move just about anything.
Really?
Yeah. Are they still in their car?
Yes. And you cannot walk there. I tried to walk to them.
I mean, that's why they got those signs up there at the front saying it's closed up. You really can't walk through it at all?
I tried to get to this first poles, and I didn't. It isn't so fast that it just takes me off.
Yeah,
So
I'd probably take a car off. My big tires or something.
There was one car that got stuck, and the tow truck came and took it.
Yeah.
So, but the second car is there is nobody inside, so they just gone. But this second car that is closer to us,
Yeah.
so there are people, and there is no way they can get out without being swept out.
If I had a rope long enough, I'd try to pull him through, but I'm not taking my truck through there. That's too deep. I mean, if they really need help getting across, I'll take off my socks and whatever and go barefoot across.
You will not be able to. don't see a good solution either.
The vehicle's not worth anybody's life. So let's just say they hooked up to it, and then the fire truck got stuck. And then people panic, and maybe the fire truck flips over. And then pretty soon you have more fatalities. So a car, a motorcycle, any vehicle is not worth their life. So there's two vehicles, one off the road down in the riverbed, and one on the river, on the roadway that will probably get swept over. But those vehicles are not worth anybody's lives, ever. Sometimes we'll leave vehicles through the fences all night and say, come back in the morning. It'll be daylight. You'll be able to see. When you start hooking cables up to fire vehicles, those cables get very strong. And if the cable busts, the cable can kill somebody. So again, a vehicle is not worth anybody's life. Never. You couldn't pay me to go rescue that vehicle, and I've got a truck that could get it, but I'm not going to rescue it. It's not worth it. I hope there's no tow truck driver stupid enough to go out there. But people do stupid things. The people behind us in the big truck want to go across here tonight still. My life is important to me. Other people's lives are important as well, but I wouldn't risk my life for that. Not a chance. I'll drive around. Spend an extra 25 minutes and drive around. But I'll tell you this, probably tonight somebody will sneak through and they'll go out there and maybe they'll get across. Maybe they'll see the vehicle. Maybe they'll call 911 and say there's someone stuck out here. And this happens. It'll happen over and over again. It's inevitable. I hope not to find anybody tonight. When I came down, all the way down here, we're about 4.5 miles down from White Rock Road right now. And I didn't see any vehicles the whole way. But we have cows out here. We've got hundreds of cows, cattle all over, and making sure the fences are still up so the cattle don't get back on the road. There's bulls, big bulls right here right now. Big bulls.
So do you think
No, I think they went up in the trees. They're fine. They're not the smartest, but they're smart enough not to get in the river. It's cold and wet, and they're probably hunkered down up in the woods. These bulls probably won't get out at all. We'll have a crew out here. If the water's down tomorrow, the crew will come and fix the fence tomorrow. And by tomorrow afternoon, you wouldn't have noticed that anything had happened. We fixed this whole fence last week. Both sides are gone. I have a hole up here right now from the accident this morning, and it's still open. We don't fix it yet. Well, sure, yeah. When we see what happens, when this happens, we'll get a report from the CHP, and then we'll contact their insurance company and make a settlement. But most times they'll crash through, and then they'll get the car out, and we'll just find the hole. So then we can't do anything. But if we get the car, then we get the plate, then we get the insurance. But that car will probably be totaled by morning. There's holes, yeah. It's actually right now, it's deeper on the upriver. There's a real big deep hole here. And there's a few holes down in here too. So it just depends if it ends up in a big hole or not. All this river has all been gold mined. So when you look at this in the daylight, you'll see big mountains where people dug for gold and panned for gold and built big mines. Some spots in here you'll find there's been dredges in here. Upriver here, 100 years ago, they used big boats. Big boats. And you've seen dredges, right? Dredge is a big boat and it digs for gold. And then it spits out the rock out the back and makes piles behind it. But all this country in here has been dredged for gold. Some by hand, some by small dredges, and some by big dredges. Probably not, because most of this land out here now is becoming preserved. So a little bit further down here, half a mile, quarter mile, there is it's called the Deer Creek Preserve. It's about 5,000 acres of totally preserved land. You can't do anything with it. So they're trying to buy that land up so it doesn't get developed and it stays, semi-natural. It's always somebody trying to preserve something.
This road here has been here, my house is 130 years old. So there's been people out here for longer than that. And this road is not deeded. So it's not straight. You know what I mean? Basically it means that they don't want to straighten it out. So there's people that live down below here. they travel the road and they think they know the road, but every time we get enough water, it floods. I was talking to Mom earlier today, and she says one day it was so bad, somebody got in there and they actually launched the sheriff's boat to go rescue them. Yeah. So I left at 5:30, and I knew it was going to close. I had to go to Roseville, but I just want to make sure we need a steady fence.
Yeah.
Because there's already been 2 fatalities out here this year.
Just in the same spot?
One down here and one further up.
How did it happen?
You see the barbed wire? You see how windy the road is? You see how people drive these fast cars? 60, 70, 89, 90 miles an hour? I don't know. I had 2 crashes at my house this week. One today and one just a few days ago. They drive fast and people are idiots.
Okay, so because I thought it was like flood related, you know?
Sometimes it's flood related. The one this morning, the girl crashed right at the house and went through the fence, and she said, I was trying to go take a test. So you know she's in a hurry. And these roads are like this are 40-mile-an-hour roads, not 60-mile-an-hour. Simple as that. Or 25. And they'll drive right past the the flood zone. Just drive right through. They don't care. People go out there in Prius.
I mean, flood zone doesn't mean that you should not drive, right?
It means you shouldn't drive, right?
No, it means just you should be careful.
Well, no. That means don't drive. Because this will rise in a blink of an eye. I've driven across it and turned around, and I couldn't. And if you see I don't have my 4-wheeler with me, but my 4-wheeler can make it through there now. But I won't go through there because water is a lot stronger than anything. It'll move giant logs out of here. There's actually a 50-foot waterfall a half a mile up right here, a 50-footer. So that's a lot of water flowing out of there.
Do you understand that?
I just live here. This is the Scott Ranch right here. This is the Barton Ranch up here. Nobody lives in the Scott Ranch. There's only about 6 people live on this road, and I'm one of them. It's just dangerous, you know. There's crosses all over this road.
So do you think we can get out?
Yeah, it's fine that way. You just got to drive slow. There's only a few spots where the water. This is Big Deer Creek.
I thought you was.
So that person got stuck already for about an hour. About half an hour later, when he got stuck, emergency services came, maybe about 30-40 minutes. And it has been another close to half an hour that emergency services came, and nothing is happening. One car already was swept off the road, as you can see down there.
Little Deer Creek comes out around the corner, and that's flooded right there. There's actually a nice waterfall on the right now. It's kind of cool to see in the daylight. But yeah, you can get out, just drive slow.
About 3 hours ago, this wasn't as bad.
Right.
And I know because I've been in Rancho Marietta for the last 5 years.
Yep.
And been out here ever since a kid. But like you said, this one raises up real quick.
Yep.
And I've actually never seen that little one get as high as it did.
Pretty rare.
And a guy came in like a Toyota Tundra, probably an 01, you know, the old style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, hey, I just crossed the big one. I mean, I'm with 4 guys and my truck's lifted, and I know I can do it, but I got to the other one and the girl came up to me in a Kia and was like, you think I can make it? I was like, no. And then that one's actually not as bad as it was 3 hours ago. That one's gone down.
Right.
So.
It just depends on where the cells, hit.
Yeah.
Looks like the water already raised and covered one of his headlights. So now we can see only one headlight's blinking.
So you know where the commercial area is, Eldorado Hills?
If you were to keep going straight on
Latrobe Road?
Latrobe Road?
Yeah, this is the watershed from there. It kind of depends on which finger you're at, because I have 3 rivers up in here. You've got Carson Creek, Deer Creek, Little Deer Creek, Coyote Creek, a couple more. And they all kind of finger through. Some of them come down through here, but this is a pretty big one that comes up, and it wraps right down to Eldorado Hills.
Makes sense why it's always the biggest one.
Yeah. But Coyote Creek on mine is 10 foot deeper now, but it's a lot narrower.
You're at the White House that's right there at the top and kind of the bend.
The only house out there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. People say that. They go, I know the house. I go, there's no other houses out there. Yeah, so we have cattle in here right now. And they technically come out, but they try to stay away from the river.
Smart. The one right off of Slough House Road, that station right there at the entrance. And so it's kind of like a pick and pull. If somebody's already out, the next closest has to come out. So that's probably why Folsom just got off one and then came here to help those ones. Because over there is just a fire engine and a
Tanker, right?
I think so. He said fire engine and then a paramedic squad. Which I don't know why I mean, I can see why paramedics would be here, but they're useless until they get people.
Right.
And we've been here for almost 45 minutes now, just kind of watching.
Did you guys plan on trying to drive through?
Yeah, I was gonna go through. I mean, we did it no problem. It didn't even budge the truck. But then, because I live in Rancho Marietta, so I'm on this road. I love this road. Even in my truck, and I know the roads, I was still only doing 30 with these guys, and we'd be like, oh, huddle, hold on.
Yeah.
So why not watch a show on a Thursday night? You know?
Yeah.
Either way,
It's died down.
Yeah.
But you never know what's happening up there. You know, a cell can hit there.
Yeah. At this rate, yeah, I don't know if you can see it now, but there's the car.
I thought I saw the light.
This way, you slide here. You watch the car. This girl, hey, you gotta walk this way.
I wonder if that's why the big ladder truck is up there. People don't want to go here to reach out here. Yeah, once you get down on the interstate, it's not that deep, but it can wrap you up in a tree. There's lots of barbed wire down there.
I always wondered, I never noticed that.
Yeah, Gary's running a cattle on there right now. It's very expensive. Gary actually works with the Translate. And then he runs Arthur out of here. He actually runs some cattle and everything on the time. Sometimes they'll jump on the long range. You know what they're doing? You may want to move your car.
Yeah. I'd say back your stuff into the back your truck.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice.